Welcome everybody to the JJ and Pug Show. It is June 5th, 2025, and we have taken a long break, not for planned reasons, but because life happens.
Yeah.
But we're still recording from the Highland Communities Podcast Studios. We tried last time to record from 2 different studios. It didn't work.
No, that's okay though. It happens. Like, we're still, again, if we just get paid for this, it'd be a lot easier.
Dude, somebody start sponsoring us. We'll do this all the time.
Yeah, we can constantly be on here.
So we had a lot of things that we were talking about last time that, again, as we were trying to record it, to which it just totally did not work. And so we got a tease to pay off, which we will get to. But first, this. Can you hear it better this time?
Yeah.
This right here is Good Terms. The band is called Good Terms. The song is called Progress. I tell you what, dude. Instagram is like the best way to get your music out there.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, that like our TikTok, all these platforms.
Yes.
I mean, that's how a lot of these guys came out. Like, got real big during COVID. Was all TikTok stuff, right? I'm pretty sure. Who sings Zach Bryan? That's his whole thing started on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm almost positive it's in that Something in the Orange and all these songs. Dude, that's how he took off.
Was he not the America's Got Talent guy? Or American Idol guy?
No.
Who was you were telling me about? You were telling someone, one of those guys was that.
Milligan was. Something, he sings that one song that I had on here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Drake Milligan, that's his name. No, he was a America's Got Talent guy, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. No, dude, this, like, one, the algorithm knows all. But secondly, like, there's so many bands coming out right now that are like, this is my high school sound.
It's all coming back. Bro, these guys are generation copycat. They do the way they dress, the music. I mean, everything about them screams, we don't have our own. So
I get to say this, though. I'm pretty sure these guys are our age.
No, probably.
Because when I look at the video, I'm like, they're not young kids.
It's weird. They don't even try to do new stuff. They're like, hey, let's go back to what we've been playing for years.
We know it works. It's going to cycle, man. It's going to cycle.
Blink is gone. Let's be the new Blink.
Oh, yeah, dude. There's, when that part happens, I'm going to, like, shush us both and say, this is what actually got me. Oh, and guess what's not recording?
The whole
song.
thing.
The song is not recording.
So everybody's thinking, listen to us hear this song. Just slap it in right now. It's okay.
I just did. So they'll catch a little bit of this, all of it. Yeah. But this part right here is what got me. Just keep listening, dude. It gets really good right here. That's solid, isn't it?
Right back.
That's a solid
straight
drop.
Back.
Oh,
if you didn't know, you close your eyes and be like, are we in 2004?
Oh, I know, dude. Oh, I know. Dude, it's like, it's so good. I know, dude. Does it make you want to learn the drums? Bro, all those drum videos?
That drumeo, bro, those guys are amazing. Like, I can't stop and I can't not watch them.
Oh, dude,
I have to watch them.
It's amazing that, again, how often they come up with not the same beat, but something that is so similar. It's crazy.
But it's still, and you know what's funny is I never ever thought like how in tune they would have to be to the music, right? They're just banging drums, but they're not. They're like, you listen and like, you know what the songs were like. The Papa Roach one, did you see John Stamos does that one?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he just knows like to hit the hi-hats or all this. I mean,
he
like,
just feels it,
man.
He
just feels it and it sounds just like it. It's, I wish I could play the drums. Dude, I'm not coordinated enough. I can't do multiple things. Like your feet got to be here, your hands got to be a whole nother thing.
The feet's what kills me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The feet are the hardest part. Doing it different from what your hands are doing.
Especially when you get those guys that have like the double pedal.
That one guy from, I can't remember his name, but he's like, I'm gonna
hit the restart on this one so everyone knows. We'll just listen to it in the background.
He's from, I don't even know where he's from. He's from, but he's like a master drummer. He plays songs one-handed.
Oh, yeah.
Even real drummers are like, this guy is insane. He is doing this with one hand. He's drinking a coffee and you're like, he's doing all this stuff. And you're like, how?
In fact, I actually saw somebody, he did a video where it was a song by Blur, song number 2. You'd know the song if I played it. I'm not going to look it up. But they were basically saying how it's an actually impossible song to play because 2 different people were playing the drums. And he's like, it is? Boom. And he just starts doing the whole thing by himself. Like, this guy.
Dude, and the thing is, like, he's not even in a band.
No, he's just
YouTube famous or whatever.
I know.
But, like, I'm like, and now at this point, he shouldn't get in a band. He's probably making more money doing things by himself doing this.
He'd be way better.
Yeah, but that drumeo thing is cool.
Oh, I know. But one thing I will say about that one song by Blur, I'm like, is it really impossible? Because this guy did make it look pretty freaking possible. Dude, I don't know that I'd say
guys like, man. When you hear guys like, what's that guy that looks like Will Ferrell?
Oh yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
When he's like, dude, this is insane for him to do. That's a drummer that's been drumming, and if he's saying it's hard and that should not be possible, it's got to be, right?
Yeah. No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
Chad something, right? What's his name? Chad maybe? I don't know.
Anyway,
he's a killer. I've seen the video where the guy's playing the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the band in a park, and he's drumming it, and that guy's watching him, and he has no idea who's watching him play.
I actually love that video.
Yeah.
I love when you see things like that, where it's like these celebrities in cameo, where they're just kind of like out in public and see people. In fact, this is actually one of my favorites. You know Lindsay Sterling, I told you about her a lot, right? Mm-hmm. She does this all the time, where if she's going through an airport, she'll see somebody out there with a violin playing a song that's hers, and she'll just walk up and be like, hey, you're doing great. And they're like, oh, eyes go, you're like, oh my gosh. It's such a cool thing for people to like, one, recognize that people are paying homage to you, right? They actually respect what you're doing. They like it so much, they're willing to imitate it. And they are trying their best to do their best at it.
I wish I was musically gifted like that.
So my buddy always says this. Ricky, shout out to you. Whenever we send each other back and stuff, like back and forth videos of people doing something like super incredible, he's always like, I am so untalented. And he's a pretty talented guy. But the truth is like, I wonder, I'm like, could I have honed that talent? Do I have that in me? Because there are certain things where I'm like, I know I could have learned the piano.
I wish I would have.
I gave up on it because I was quote unquote too cool for it, right?
Yeah, of course. That was way hard.
Oh, yeah.
When you were a teenager, like, this is way too hard.
Well, it wasn't for me that I thought I was a teenager that I thought it was too hard. It's that I thought I was too cool for it. Because my piano teacher was also teaching my little sister. And when I would go to their house, they'd be like, I'm way too cool for this. Like,
and you didn't want little sister being better than you, so you're like, no, I'm not going to give her this shot.
I'm out on
this. Go ahead, little sis. I'm better than you. I just don't want to play.
And I look back and I'm like, you little idiot. You didn't know crap. But whatever. I guess we probably all have a lot of that thought of like, if coach would put me in fourth quarter.
Yeah, you want to win.
State champs for sure, man. Know that one? You gave me a line earlier.
I did give you one. If coach would put me in fourth quarter, we'd have been state champs for sure.
State champs. Throw a football mile. Throw it over the mountains.
It's not Napoleon Dynamite, is it?
It's Uncle Rico. He's like the poster child for living in the past.
Well, that's funny.
Dude, that movie was
classic.
It's still so good.
You know what's funny? It's better the more you watch it. You can't watch that movie one time and give it any kind of review.
Oh, dude.
You got to get like 6 or 7 times into it, and then you start to laugh and laugh and laugh because you notice all the dumb little things that they can put in it, dude.
And same for Nacho Libre.
See, I've never got into that at all. I just never sat down to watch it.
Watch Nacho Libre. It's the same director, same writer, same style. And the more you watch it, the more you're like, dude, this is absurdly stupid and so funny.
That's like The Office, dude. I've watched The Office up to a certain point because in season 7 or something, Michael Scott leaves and it makes the whole show just tank, in my opinion. But
the glue's gone.
I could watch that. We watch it all the time. If it's on TV, we just sit and let it run. Like it's like the background noise in my house most of the time. All my kids like it. The duel between Dwight and Jim never gets old.
See, and I know I told you this. I've never watched The Office, but that is how I feel about Parks and Rec. Rewatching it right now.
You need to watch The Office. No, my foot.
Oh, I was just saying, come on, because I told Ava if she hears the boy to come get me. So
dude, you need to watch The Office. I'm telling you, man.
I probably will.
It starts off. It's very dry. Like there's not like you're not going to be like outwardly hysterically laughing at the beginning, but when you start to just Dwight is so funny, and it's crazy. So Jim in that movie is the other guy, right? And he when he auditioned for that, he wasn't going to, and his mom the day of the movie, I think it was the day of or the day before, he was like, I'm not going to do it. He's moved to New York. He tried acting bits over and over again. What's up, baby girl? What are you doing? What, you gonna bring it home?
It's 2 doors down.
Oh, it's 2 doors down. Then yeah, that's fine. Do you have a swimsuit? Well, let's see if it fits. If it fits, it ships, bro.
Sounds good, dude.
So anyway, so his mom had told him, hey, just give it one more shot. And he was super down in the dumps. And he went and auditioned for that. And now his career has just blown up completely
dude,
because of that.
In fact, have you watched Jack Ryan?
No, I'd like to.
That's the next show for us. So right now we're running down the Terminal List, which, dude, is depressing. You watch that one, the Terminal List?
Oh, no.
With Chris Pratt?
No.
It is. Oh,
I don't want to watch it though.
Dude, at the end of the first episode, I turned to I'm like, I don't know if I can keep watching this. Like, it was so sad.
What's it about?
I'm not going to tell you.
I probably won't watch it.
It's good. I think it's something that you would really enjoy.
What's the show? Like, what is it about?
Basically, what it is, it's Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And he is a SEAL commander who's has an operation go bad. And there's a lot of like
just a lot
espionage.
Of
there's a lot of did it actually go bad? Anyway, it's
conspiracy
sad,
theory stuff.
Yes. Like he's actually being targeted by a larger group that's trying to keep something hidden.
Did you ever watch House of Cards?
No, I never did.
So
I don't like Kevin Spacey. So nothing against the guy.
Well, like
turns out I was right.
When he got exposed, and that's when the show took a dump. It's like, I don't remember how many seasons in it was, but after that happened, it really took a dump. But that show, dude, I felt like all those conspiracy things about how messed up Washington is, they were using every one of them in that show. And you're like, I could see this. Oh, I could see that happening.
So my best friend, he was telling me all the time, like, dude, you got to watch it for those reasons. And I'm like, I don't want to believe it's really that bad.
Oh, I do. After a while, I'm like, it's got to be just like this, dude.
And that's the other problem. There's a lot of those shows like that where you're like, dude, this is so messed up. They got this from somewhere.
Exactly.
Like they got, like Shalita loves watching SVU, Law and Order SVU, Special Victims Unit. It's all about like sexual abuse cases. And I'm like, I want no part of this.
Those
I
are all
don't
real.
want to. Yeah, exactly. And also I'm like, I don't want to know this. Like, I know this is real. I don't want to see it. It's so beyond disgusting.
Yeah, that one's a hard one. It's a great show, but it's really hard. Like I don't mind watching like Chicago PD or some of these where they vary about what they're going after, and it kind of gives you some other drama. But when it's all about those things every time,
it's
I'm
almost
like, no,
always
I
about
can't.
kids. And it's just, ugh. With that being said,
I can admit it. If it wasn't clearly illegal, I would give my kids steroids.
we talked about it last time on the episode that did not work.
Bro.
We paid off that tease.
Yep.
But
It wasn't recorded.
no, it didn't record.
So we didn't talk about it again.
So the whole point of this, if anybody didn't get the joke, the comedian, and I wish I could source him because I don't remember who it was. It's a funny bit. He's basically saying if it wasn't, we'll do it again. We'll just play it again.
I can admit it. If it wasn't clearly illegal, I would give my kids steroids almost immediately. Part of me does feel like I should be allowed to.
And
Parents are giving their kids hormone blockers.
that's the whole
Why
point.
can't I get mine hormone enhancers? I don't know.
And as I said before, if you're going to wreck their reproductive system either way,
I mean, dude, I'm all for it. You would never hear me say no to it. I'd be like, cool. But there's a limit, right? Like, I don't think you can slam a bunch of trend into a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old, but like, you got these kids that are like, could they use a little bit more or something? Sure.
After we had this conversation, I have flipped. And I am totally against it. And my reasoning is, I'm also totally against transitioning kids.
So I am too, but I don't think they're even on the same playing field.
I think they are. Because either way, like I said, you are wrecking their biology. Like you're destroying
You're not, though. Like, you can take steroids and not wreck your biology.
You are going to destroy your reproductive system.
No, you won't.
Yes, you will.
No, you won't.
Yes, you will.
You don't destroy it. Does it probably like give you some adverse effects? But it can be corrected. Like when you're transitioning and you transition and you cut off your male genitalia. You ain't getting that back.
No. But my point is this: let's say you start taking a whole bunch of different, human growth hormone or steroids.
Oh, don't bring up GH, bro. That is the fountain of youth. There's nothing wrong with that. They've proven that.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying, let's say
Bad example.
Let's say you start taking a whole bunch of steroids, okay? Anabolic steroids, whatever it might be, right?
Yes.
Something to get you absolutely jacked and ripped, okay? It will wreck your reproductive system. And let's say even if you get off of it, you are going to be asked the rest of your life, if you go into any kind of male checkup or anything, have you ever used this? And if you say yes, I'm like, probably shouldn't have kids. Because we have no idea what the effects would be on those kids. We don't know what kind of birth defects they're going to be born with. We have no idea how to correct those issues. So that's my point, okay? The comedian's point, and I believe your point, stands. And that is, if hormone blockers are legal, why is this not legal? It's the same thing.
Bro,
you're completely changing. You're changing the physical build of somebody. Why is it different?
I just think, okay, at that point, they make them both illegal. One is already. So why is the other one? So like, it's the same with drugs and everything else. Dude, this world is going to crap with that. Like, we have all these crazy things, but for me, it all boils down to government control, right? They don't want a bunch of hulks running around. They want a bunch of people that are doped up and relying on the government to supply things and be there for them. It's just the way it is, dude. That's why they allow you to do drugs on the street, and they provide the needle, they provide the drugs in a window and a nurse on the other side.
That's a strong stance to take.
But that's the truth of it, right? Like, if that wasn't the case, why do they care, Eric, if you, as a grown adult male, decide that you want to buy any kind of steroid and get yourself jacked out of your mind and die at 45? They don't. They don't care. The problem is during that time when you are the Hulk, if a bunch of us got together and all became the Hulk, now the government's like, well, crap. Like, if the society all looks like this, what are they going to do? We can't tell them no. They want people leeching off of them. That's just my opinion, but it's bullcrap that I can't. If I want to die at 45 because I look, my heart and my heart, my liver, my spleen, everything grows because I'm on so much crap that my body can't take it. Shouldn't that be my right? My body, my choice?
Yeah, you know what? Now that's the Ron Swanson right there. Speaking of Parks and Rec, that is your red-blooded American choice to do what you want, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I would be opposed, but I can't say that I'm opposed for any other reason other than I don't want you to die. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm trying to think of a way to articulate this. I am against that just like the same way I'm against any kind of hard drugs. Right? And that is, you are trying to alter reality and live in a world that doesn't exist, and you will pay ultimately for it. And not just you. And by the way, I'm saying you know what I mean.
Yes.
General. Not just you, but those that love you. Right? So we talked about this briefly on the last one. We talked about the fact that in Portland, which is gone the other direction now.
They're finally coming around.
Yes. Had opened the doors to saying, hey, you know what? Free illicit drug use, no problem. Heroin, whatever the big stuff you want to take, you can do it here. We have safe spaces, quote unquote, for you to do those things because you're going to do it no matter what. Might as well do it where we can supervise you, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out that was a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a horrible idea because there are massive consequences when you allow a population to destroy themselves.
Dude, in D.C., I was just there for a week. There are literal vending machines with Narcan in them for free.
For people that are overdosing.
Because they're like, hey, you're going to overdose. Let's save your life. I'm like, oh.
And that's where you say natural selection.
Natural selection means to start selection. If you're going to put yourself in a position where you want to get so high, and I get it. We all know somebody, love somebody, or been a part of somebody's life who's been wrecked by drugs. They're terrible.
Yeah,
right?
They are awful.
But what we're doing when you give them Narcan on the street, you're just saying, hey, survive this time so you can do it again. Survive this time so you can do it again. And we'll pay for it. Just survive this time and we'll do it again.
And eventually you're not going to survive.
Yeah, it's like, dude, we need to stop. You're almost enabling them to just keep getting high, so high out of their minds they can't function, to where we have to have some stranger go to a vending machine, hit the button, get the thing to vend out, and then run over and slap this thing in your nose and press this button to kill your high and bring you back to life.
Yeah. And that is where, for me, that's where I would be opposed to it. Now, obviously, again, we're all talking about a guy who made a solid joke. That's a salient point on his regard.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
It's very funny.
We dove way into it.
We do. But because it's also kind of like, I don't know, I guess it's one of those things you want to ask, like, how do people really feel about this? How do you really feel about it? Because because a lot of the conversation, the way that you and I took it anyway, was when it comes to transitioning kids, that has been a huge discussion for probably about, I don't know, I'm going to say 6 years.
Yeah.
I feel like it really only started right around the pandemic time. Because it's funny how like small stories became microwaved and just got huge because we had nothing else to talk about other than
Tiger King.
Yeah, Tiger King. You know what I'm saying? Like, speaking of which, bro, I went to out of Africa.
Oh, yeah.
It's freaking Tiger King, dude. It's awesome. That's a side part. We'll come back to that. But like, I feel like the kid transitioning thing became a huge topic over the last 6 years, maybe longer, maybe less. I'm giving myself some wiggle room between just before right before 2020 and a little bit after. Either way, the point is that's all we ever talked about. But we never talked about like the fact that it's like, listen, if you're willing to do this, how come we're not allowed to do this? And that snowballs into, well, what about this? And what about this? And when I'm saying these, I mean, we already talked about some of the points. One is, okay, well, how about human growth hormone for children, tiny babies? Or, how about anabolic steroids for teenagers because you want them to get that Division I scholarship to go play football, wrestle, basketball, whatever it might be, right? Like, how come that's not okay? How come it would not be okay for me to say, all right, across the country, everybody can take heroin, no problem.
But this spans so much into everything. We are so hypocritical in so many ways when it comes to these things. I mean, you can even bring it down to schooling, right? Unpopular, right? We can't have an all-white school, but we have all black colleges.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean,
technically, they are not all black.
Right, but they are like, culturally they are, right? But like, again, if we were to have an all-white college, right? If Harvard was, you were all white.
Yeah.
That would be problematic in this country so bad that we would have riots, we would have all this stuff, right? But we wouldn't have it for these, they call them HBCs, right? Historically black colleges, right? So how does that even happen anyway? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I lived on my mission, I lived in a town that had an HBCU, Arkansas Pine Bluff University, which, by the way, fun long story behind that. Right before I went on my mission, dude, we used to play NCAA football on Xbox all the time. And I had one school I always picked. I didn't know anything about them other than they had the coolest looking mascot on anybody else on that game. And I'll show it to you, dude. It was freaking awesome. And I'm like, dude, that's my team. Pine Bluff, baby, let's go. That's where I ended up spending 9 months on my mission was in Pine Bluff, dude. It was like, it was meant to be.
Well, what a coincidence. That's funny.
The reason why these schools became to be is because they used to be all white universities.
Right.
And so they like, all right, well, I guess we're going to have an all black university, or at least have a university where black people can attend. And it just became, again, culturally over time, that's where all of the black kids started to go. That's what Jackson State was when Deion Sanders went.
Yeah.
Right. And so also, funny story about that one in Pine Bluff. I remember there's a mall in Pine Bluff, and we were, it was our day off. It was called P-Day on a mission, right? Preparation Day. And so we were in the mall, just kind of, wasting some time. And we went into this room, this store. They had an airbrush shop. Where people get their shirts airbrushed. Speaking of which.
Kind of the shirt you're wearing right now looks like it would be airbrushed.
Friggin' awesome. Randy Johnson killing that.
White doesn't have eyes, but whatever.
Whatever.
It's kind of weird.
I'll take it as it is. Anyway, so the airbrush shop, and in there was this white guy. And I'm like, oh, that's not normal. Usually it's only us two missionaries, are the white guys in this entire mall. And so I'm talking to him just to kind of ask him what he's all about as my buddies. So I had one of my companions was a graffiti artist, and he loved going in this airbrush shop to see what was going on. He loved it. And so anyway, we're in there, and I'm talking to the guy. Turns out he's the punter for the football team.
Oh, really?
From England.
Oh,
had no idea that where he was going. He had no idea. And he ended up in the NFL.
No joke.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but there's a current punter in the NFL. He might have been punting. He either punts for the Browns or the Giants. Also went to Pine Bluff University. Also, I want to say from Scotland. They call him the Scottish Hammer. Hilarious stuff. The point is, culturally, all these universities became black because that was all that was allowed to go there for the longest time, because any black kid couldn't go to any other university. Right. So, in a way, we created those in a very negative way. Right. Turns out that they're pretty solid. I mean, you wouldn't consider them to be like the greatest schools of all time.
No.
Right? I mean, as far as academics, probably on par with most every other university. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that stands above the rest. But there's very few Ivy League universities when you think of them, right? Like when you think of the top. Nah, we really went off on a tangent here, didn't we? Now we're trying to rank HBCUs as far as academics, which we have no idea.
I wouldn't even be able to tell you. Jackson State, Pine Bluff, that's new.
Pine Bluff.
I don't know enough about them. I just know that
North Carolina State.
Yeah, the point would be that we've kind of we can't have these HWCs, right? Historically white colleges. And that's all we have there, culturally. And
it's called Harvard.
But
it's called Cornell.
But no, but they still have. But they still, we still make sure that we have this diversity, equity, and inclusion in them all, right? But it's
now that Trump's president, that ain't the case. You're not allowed to be from anywhere, dude. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's funny. I saw a thing about the Trump Elon thing right now, right? It's this whole thing, right?
Blew up yesterday.
I saw a video from, I can't remember her name. She's a really good, I should have sent it to you, but she's a really good news lady. And she had made a mention that when she was leaving Trump Tower, that it was hey, he had said to her that, hey, if they're not talking about us, that's probably not a good thing. And she started thinking, is this whole thing made up?
Dude, I wouldn't have a hard time believing that.
I wouldn't either. I'm it does make sense, right? Because now what are everybody talking about? Their hate for each other and the fact that, he's taking money from Elon. Again, now those two again are in every headline.
Yeah.
Everything, right? It's just keeping them relevant, right? And what'll happen is they'll do a makeup and hey, we're back now. We're back. Doge is back or whatever. It's just constant.
Dude, it's crazy how fast this news cycle has flipped since he's gotten elected. Every week there's a new massive story, and it's you can't even avoid it. Yeah. This one yesterday, like I said, the whole Elon Trump social media spat back and forth, that one was nuts, because you honestly could feel these guys are both high right now.
Well, and again, it's that there's they're sitting in the same room next to each other. Say, hey, the world's gonna light on fire right now. Check this out.
Although I will say, I think I saw an article today that said Elon Musk lost $45 billion in wealth yesterday because of the stock tanks of his companies. Because Trump then, said, I'm taking away somebody's government contract, or threatened it. So it's dude, they are messing with some serious powers here, man. People are really being affected by this. What is he worth? Elon Musk?
Yeah.
That's a good, you want to Google that one?
Yeah,
I would do it, but I don't want to chance the possibility of screwing up another 25 minutes recorded conversation. Not that it would happen, but man, I tell you what, our luck has not been great. I'm going to guess it's north of 500 billion.
421 billion.
421. So
as
it was
yesterday.
Yep. Oh my
That's
gosh.
after the loss.
Yeah, that's after the loss. So he's 450 by then.
Okay, so if you're Elon, right, and you're in this war and you know that politics and this crap is up and down wave right now, right? You're hey, look, I got to sacrifice $45 billion, but I've got 421 left. I don't care right now. I'm going to get it back at some point because there'll be some stupid thing in the back way of some bill, right? But he's I'm still worth $400 billion.
I'll tell you what, dude, when this big, beautiful bill does finally get fallen apart, he will gain all his money back because they are going to be like, okay, you know what? We are going to go back to EV tax credits. We are going to go back to green energy credits. Like this is my biggest beef. I hate this so much when it comes to the Republican Party. They're all about not fitting in pork spending into all these bills. Like, no. I want individual bills for individual things. And yet, now that they have power, guess what? One bill, everything. Dumbest thing ever.
All I hope that goes through is the no tax on tips and overtime. I don't care about anything else in that bill.
Do you know that's also got a time expiration on it?
I don't, but that's all I know. That's what, like, because I don't pay attention to it because it's all just smoke and mirrors and crap, right? But man, dude, I think that would be awesome to have no tax on it because you get the crap taxed out of you for overtime.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
But you're thinking about it from a guy from your perspective, right?
Yeah.
That also goes for lawyers. That also goes for people that charge, $2,000 an hour. They don't get charged on their overtime. Okay, so it's like I look at it and say there's got to be a cap on this at some point.
I don't know what you mean by that. So like you're saying as a lawyer you don't get overtime, so you're never going to get the benefit?
You don't get taxed on overtime because lawyers and such, they are billable hours, right? Mm-hmm. So they can bill overtime hours. Those overtime hours are way more. Guess what? They're not getting taxed on those.
Oh, so like they could bill you for $100, but the overtime hours is $4,200, and you're not going to get taxed on the $4,200.
And they're not going to get charged. Yeah. So like for me, it's like one of those things. And also, like I said, it had I think the expiration was 4 years, so it's only going to be for 4 years, which isn't all that crazy because a lot of these bills, these tax bills, they have expiration dates built into them. They're generally not that short. They're generally for like an
70 years.
Yeah. But like the thing that gets me is like, okay, there are certain people that tips, cool, don't tax tips. Fine.
Honestly, everybody gonna be stripping.
I honestly didn't know you got taxed on tips.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how you even like track.
That's why most servers and stuff make like $3 an hour.
Well, I knew that.
Tips, right? Well, that's because they're getting tips that they should be incorporating that into. But I'm not paying cash.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Like I'm paying cash
unless you're getting it from like
credit cards.
If everybody puts it into a till and then at the end the owner says, there's like a paper trail where like you were given this much cash.
Yeah.
But like if I'm a server and they're leaving me cash tips, I'm not reporting that.
No, and you know what? You shouldn't.
No, like that's my money. You want to give me on a credit card? I'll pay tax on all my credit card ones. But
yeah, that actually makes me feel bad that I do the tip now on a credit card. I almost feel like I need to start going cash everywhere I go.
I know, right? Just an extra so they don't have to pay tax.
Just so they don't have to do that. But now, hey, guess what? If they're not going to pay it anyway, I guess it don't matter.
I just don't want. I just wish they'd lower the tax on it,
dude. Whatever. You and I are both of one agreement on this one. Flat tax the crap out of everybody. Flat tax it. Everybody pays the same rate. No deductions. No getting out of it.
Yep.
Elon Musk, I don't care if you're not getting any quote unquote income every year. You make money every single year. Your wealth grows. You pay taxes.
That's it.
Also, I kind of like the idea, and this is radical. This is radical. Not well thought out. So there's going to be something
shooting from the hip here.
Yeah, here we go. I've heard this and I've said it before. We should just give an awesome certificate to anyone that becomes a billionaire and then kick them out.
Of the country?
No.
Oh.
Of economics. You're done.
Well,
you've made your billions. You've made $1 billion. Go love. Go live. Peace out.
You're not allowed to make any more money?
You are not allowed to be making any more income. Now, you can, let's say you keep your $1 billion in the market invested and whatever, you're making your 5 to 10%. I mean,
I can't figure out why you'd need that kind of money. Like,
you don't.
It would be awesome.
You don't.
Don't get me wrong. What would you do? Why? Why?
Exactly. Why? Why, Elon Musk? Why are you still going? What are you doing?
I know. I'm like, bro, just give up. Sign that stuff over. Every 3 years, give it to somebody new. Say your company, I'm giving it up. Yeah. Every 3 years, if they take their profit and leave, and the next guy comes up to let's make more millionaires versus letting one guy have $421 billion.
Yes. One guy breaking all the guys. Listen, go, dude. No one has more money than you. Stop. Go have fun. You're not the only person in the world with good ideas. You're not the only smart guy out there that's got the idea of getting to Mars. You know what I mean? Like just go. Dude, travel the freaking world. See every inch of it. You got, how many, 15 kids? Build a complex and then your 15 kids come and live there. Just stuff like that. I'm like, I have no idea where you want to keep working. Bill Gates had kind of the idea of hey, once he sold out of Microsoft, that was it. And then he's going to dedicate his money to building water wells in Africa and stuff like that. And obviously there's some other things that people want to say that he's done negative. I'm not going to get into the whole details of that because I don't know them. But I mean, dude, you're rich. You don't have to work anymore. Go. And if you want to work, you know what? Go find yourself a little plot of land out in the Rockies and start living off the earth. You know what I mean? Grow your own farm. Learn how to do that stuff. I don't know, dude.
You know that you could give everybody in the U.S. $1,300? Elon Musk could give everybody $1,300 with his money. That's crazy.
and still have how much left over?
No, that's 421 billion divided by 342 million.
Sheesh.
Is $1,299.38 that he could give every single person. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's just simple. I'm sure there's math wrong here for anybody listening that might be a math wizard. All I did was 321 billion divided by 342 million, and it gave me 1,299.38.
Jeez, that almost seems low.
He does,
still.
but every person, every alive person.
Yeah, every human being in that
1,300 for you, 1,300 for you, 1,300 for you.
And you know what? Guess what? He would still be the richest person because that's like, he would still have stock. He would still have ownership.
Yeah.
I mean, that 421 billion's got to be
It's got to be everything. It's his net worth.
It's his net worth. Yeah. So that is a lot of his stock stuff like that. But anyway, all right. So we talked about steroids here. Dude, we have a long list of crap to talk about here. Quickly, 2 weeks ago, ish, I was in California with Chalet. Her team had a volleyball tournament in Long Beach. So I got to tag along. It was a blast. It was a good time. And I was able to go to an Angels game, wearing my Angels hat, by the way.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. What?
It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
What movie is? I can't remember the movie.
I can't remember. Anyway. So anyway, but when we were there, we had to stop at Walmart because anytime you go somewhere, you've got to go to Walmart at some point and just get something you forgot. I just want to tell everybody in California, stop stealing everything from Walmart. I do not want to go to a grocery store where everything is behind a glass case and I have to push a button for someone to come get it.
California has the law where if it's under $1,000, they don't prosecute you.
Which is a stupid law.
Well, and that's why would anybody, like, why are you going to pay? Why? I mean, it's complete shenanigans. It's a barbaric to just go into a store and steal $999 worth of crap and think you should be okay with that per person.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Dude.
But they've allowed it. They don't care.
I went to go get a pair of underwear because I forgot my workout underwear. I was like, okay, well, I can go get something. And I wanted to get some face wash.
Commando, bro.
Nah, dude. Not in a hotel gym. But like,
That's the best place for it. You'd be legendary. You'd be a story in different countries, bro.
Right. I would be talking about.
You looked at this completely wrong, dude.
So, and then I went to go get some face wash because mine got confiscated going through whatever the security. What's it called? The security when you're going through the airport? TSA. Mine got confiscated because it was more than
3 ounces.
So stupid. And I told the guy, I'm like, listen, if I put all of this in 2 separate containers, you would allow me to go through. He's like, yep. I'm like, what's the difference? What is the difference?
I hate those people, dude.
And he's like, sorry, man. I'm like, I know it's not your fault. Ultimately, it lost me $6 because it was a brand new thing of face wash. But anyway, so okay, underwear behind a glass case, face wash behind a glass case, everything that wasn't food or baby formula behind a glass case. I'm like, how do you sell anything here?
That's because you had to get somebody to come open it, because if you want it, we have to walk up and pay for it.
So 2 things. California, stop stealing everything. And 2, California, start prosecuting people that steal.
Well, they need to just, and the problem is now it's gotten so out of hand, like these people, and again, you know what's crazy? This demographic, dude, like it's just like, it's interesting the demographics of who is doing it.
Well, I used to, so that's actually one of the things I remember talking to my brother about, because there were certain things that were behind glass cases where you'd get like they're just racist here. I'm like, no, they got numbers to tell you this is what's going missing the most.
Yeah.
So it's not racism. It's purely loss.
Statistics.
Yeah, that's just all they're doing here. I will say this about Long Beach, California Walmart. I mean, there was nothing, there's no rhyme reason behind it, dude. Everything was behind glass.
Which is, again, like, so demographically, they're having all problem with everything.
Apparently,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It's just nuts, dude. I don't know. What do you do now? You've gotten so far. Gavin Newsom's an idiot. And the fact that those people in California continue to vote for that man is out of control.
He won't be anymore. I would be shocked if he gets reelected.
But, dude, he's been there forever. Like, he's been there long enough to destroy that state.
I think this is his second term. Because all the talk is that he's going to try and run for president.
Oh, God help us.
I don't know enough about him to say one way or the other. All I know is I'm not voting for him.
I just look at what he did for California, and I'm like, you ain't doing nothing, dude. You're giving free health care to all these, dude, the tax alone in California, like if you look at athletes who make a lot of money there, the amount of money they have to pay when they're playing in making that income in that game or whatever in California
in that state,
is out of control.
Yeah. The thing is, you asked the question, though, how much of that is on him and how much of that is on the cumulative efforts of California to the point where he became the governor. And I'm only saying that because I don't know.
Right, but he still didn't do anything to change it.
No, he didn't.
And we can
also came in as a Democrat.
But look what's happening to Arizona right now. Katie Hobbs, dude. I mean, she literally just blocked a bill. Dude. Right? And it's like, why?
Let me tell you this. Katie Hobbs is in place only because it used to be The Republican Party of Arizona is incompetent.
I know. The rhino dinosaur dumb people.
Completely incompetent in every possible way. All Katie Hobbs' campaign was, don't talk.
Let Carrie Lake destroy herself.
Let Carrie Lake hang herself. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do a thing. And you know what? Ruby Gallego. I don't let Carrie Lake do her thing. Just let her do her thing. I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to debate her. Because what's going to happen? She's going to say a whole bunch of stupid stuff. More people are going to be against her than with her. And they're going to look and say, what's the alternative? I guess I'll go with that guy. And that's 100% on the Republican Party of Arizona.
I know.
Couldn't have put... Listen, Mark Lamb, the sheriff of Pinal County, was running for senator. Carrie Lake says, I'm going to run for senator now still, instead. And somehow, the entire Republican Party of Arizona says, you know what, we're going to go with Carrie Lake. She was a good Republican for the governor race. Oh, no, she was awful, actually, if you forgot.
She lost.
Katie Hobbs did nothing, literally did nothing. She didn't do any public appearances, and she won the governor's race because they're like, Carrie Lake's a freaking psycho. No way. Mark Lamb's like, what do I got to do here? A guy who's actually done the work. Yeah. He's actually been in the work. This woman has done nothing but read from a teleprompter. And somehow she's going to get the nomination, which she did. And guess what? She lost in the Senate race. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't blame Katie Hobbs. I blame 100%
I don't blame Katie Hobbs. I blame her for the decisions she's making. As this now in charge, where she blocked a bill to ban China from allowing them buying land in Arizona. China shouldn't be buying anything in America. With what we owe to China already, all they're trying to do. In fact, I just read, my brother-in-law was just telling me about an article about that he read on one of these, news websites that they stopped 2 Chinese nationalists that had enough chemical on them that destroy cops to destroy a whole bunch of, not cops, crops. Like a whole bunch of
how do they isolate?
Crops, sorry. But agriculturally, it could decimate a lot of the U.S. And they stop these Chinese nationalists with it. And you're like, what? They're trying to do something. China is not okay with us, no matter what Trump's done, no matter what anybody's done. China's not okay with what we're doing. So with our tariff stuff or whatever, they're going to try to find a way in.
Oh, yeah.
And so for her to block them being able to buy land in Arizona, why? Why would you block that?
To her credit, she's also the one that banned the Saudis from constantly irrigating their crops down southern Arizona.
Yeah, but then you said China can come in. So who's paying you? Where are you getting your money from?
Here's the question, though. What else was in that bill?
Well, I don't. That's not what. Again, I get that, but that's still
Jason.
Okay, you're fair, completely fair argument, right? But it's still problematic. What? Then they need to explain all that, not that one little part, right? But
that's how it clicks.
Why can't it just be that one thing in the bill? Bills are so dumb.
That's so dumb. That's exactly what I have a problem with the whole big, beautiful bill. Listen, if you want to do the tax bill, do a tax bill separate from everything else.
Yeah, you want to know who else is getting paid in that bill at the bottom in the 75,000 pages where the fine print is so bad.
And the thing is the thing that really drives me nuts is these bills come to the Senate floor or the House floor for votes, both in the state and the federal level. The night before, they're 1,000 pages long, and you're, as a representative, supposed to know what's in there, and you're going to vote
your interns are reading it, telling you the highlights. That's it.
Yeah.
You've got kids, college level kids, reading these bills saying, oh, here's the highlights. Here's what you should do.
And guess what Apple's telling us in all the commercials? Guess who that's going to be? AI. Terrified of it, dude. I'm so terrified of it.
AI is going to be out of control.
I heard the story about how one of the MAHOP, Make America Healthy Again, the Robert F. Kennedy Department, one of their reports, I guess, came out with a whole bunch of misidentified... God, dude, I am having such a hard time talking. It's absolutely killing me. And yet, somehow, you could ask me who, the first draft pick of the 1992 draft was, and I remember that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's just
Shaquille O'Neal.
brain.
Yeah, dude, it's just so dumb. I'm just trying to think of, why can't I think of citations, right? Citations in this document as to who did what and what study was done what. And they're saying, a lot of these citations were incorrect. And so somebody's like, you know what? Why? It's because it was all done by AI. And they're denying that. No, we didn't have AI do this. Human beings did this. But how come human beings are the ones that tracked the wrong citations, noticed that these things were done incorrectly, and AI has a history of getting things kind of close. So when they do those citations, they get them sort of close. They call them AI hallucinations, where it's similar, but it's not perfect.
I think AI has a place. I just don't think it has a place for everything.
Dude, I'm terrified of it because the amount of jobs that will disappear overnight.
I think it's more of look, if you're trying to send an email or do something where you're like, hey, I need to take this, or write me, like, for instance, you can do it at, like, if you have employees underneath you, right? There's like a thing where you can say, hey, I need to write a quarterly review. In this quarterly review, I need you to put this, recognize all this stuff, and then also speak of how this was fixed, and it formulates it for you, right? And puts it on. That to me makes sense. Like, it's using what you said, making it fluffable and good format. Well, and formatted good. And, you know, it kind of flows better. But this whole, like, hey, let's let it start driving and let's let it start flying planes and let's let it start doing whatever the heck it wants because Skynet was a real thing.
You know, dude, I have seen the future.
I know. Like,
it was written in 1984. It's called Terminator.
Seriously.
I don't want any part of this.
How much closer do we got to get to that before we stop?
Dude, I don't know. That's the thing that's scary about
John
it.
Connor.
Where are you? Sarah, save us.
Please, help us.
Oh, geez. Okay. This is something that I saw a lot of in California that I will never, to this day, understand whoever told anybody this was a good look. Girls, stop wearing tube tops. They are awful.
Okay, they're only awful because the women wearing them now usually should not be wearing them.
I wouldn't even say that. Like, even if it's a girl that's got like a solid body, it pushes your chest down.
She's stacked and she's got a nice, and she's fit. Yes, fake, stacked, and like a nice body. Like, it looks better. I'm not saying I completely disagree with it, but I'm like, the problem is the girls wearing them now they're lazy, fat, and out of shape, and their boobs look like pancakes, and you're like, bro, put a bra on, please.
It's not even that. So I'm asking my wife, because again, we're at this volleyball tournament. There's a whole bunch of little girls around. I turn them off. I'm like, who tells these girls that this is a good look? Like, it looks awful. And I've always thought that. Always. It's stop wearing tube tops, girls. Listen, a spaghetti strap t-shirt or a tank top is a way better thing because it's not as tight up top. That pushes your chest down and makes you look like you're saggy and flat. It looks awful. Don't do it.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm surprised some of these tube tops are that big. You see some, you're like, holy crap, that's not a tube top. Dude.
No, you should be like,
that's an inner tube.
Way better than I was going to say. I was going to say that's a tarp. But way better.
That's insane.
All right. So next thing I was going to say, all of this stuff, by the way, is like 2 weeks of buildup of conversations that I feel like we would normally have 30 minutes to talk about, but I'm trying to get them all out of the way so we can just flush it and be on to the next episode next time. Male body positivity. One of the things that I noticed the algorithm really pushing at me, which is good, I really appreciate it, are the amount of guys who, if I saw in real life, would be like, that dude's freaking jacked. Like, I wouldn't say ripped, but I'm like, dude, that guy's in shape. Like, that guy works out. He's big. And they show themselves like, hey, listen, this is what a real male body looks like. One guy specifically didn't look... You would not look at this guy and say that's a bodybuilder at all. You would look at this guy and say, that's a pretty strong dude. And he's like, guys, I got 18-inch arms. So I'm like 20% body fat. So I don't remember what his height. I want to say he was like 6'4". He was probably about 250. So, you know, good size, good build, big dude. And he's like, but everybody would tell me I got a dad bod. It's like, listen, this is not a dad bod. No dad looks this way without working out. He's like, no dad looks this way without working out every single day for 8 years, which is what you're looking at right now. He's like, I squat 500 pounds. I deadlift 750 pounds. Like, that doesn't happen overnight. No. And that one specifically, but then I had a whole bunch of other ones were popping up. And I bring that up only because I'm like, dude, I think that we as men, and I told this to my wife, I think we as men have kind of overlooked the idea that like only women get affected by what they see on TV as what the perfect body is supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like women always look at them like as pop star or some movie star and be like, oh my gosh, how come I don't look like that? And it's like, well, it's because you don't have money. That's what money buys.
Fake.
Yes, exactly. Like somebody will say like Halle Berry, man, she's looking great. I'm like, that's what money buys you. Now, I'm not saying that Halle Berry doesn't work out. She does. You have to put in the work. But at the same time, there's also work done that you can't do naturally that keeps you looking that way.
Yeah, peds.
There you go. But then I was also thinking about with guys where I'm like, I'm constantly looking at guys, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, name any of the Chris's, right? And any Marvel superhero or anybody like that, and thinking like, dang, dude, I'm going to look like that. Man, I don't work out. I realize like, I'm not sure that I ever can look like that without some serious, like, level of dedication that only guys like you have. And I'm saying that because, dude, I've seen what you did in that time frame. Like, that was an amazing amount of work. But then I'm looking at guys like, again, Chris Hemsworth. I'm thinking of him specifically because, dude, Thor and all those Thor movies is jacked. And I'm like, how much of that is natural? How much of that is some AIDS? If you know what I'm talking about when I say AIDS, how much of that is nobody's got a personal chef that lives in home and makes their meals for them and is getting paid millions of dollars for every movie that they make so they have the time to dedicate to do it. Like, how come I don't look at that and say, that's not realistic for me? But
okay, but here's the thing, okay? So you're talking about Chris's, right? Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah.
So Captain America,
America.
right? He's only 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
Okay, but the movies make him look so much bigger. Right. 80 kilograms. I believe that's not even, it's roughly 200 pounds, 185,
Probably about,
200 pounds,
probably
right?
about, yeah.
And his waist is only 32 inches, bro. Like, he is not that big. They portray him to look like that. But if you walked past him, like, if you physically walked past Chris Evans, you would not be like, I don't think you'd be like, oh, that's Captain America. Like, you'd be like, oh, Captain America's kind of smaller than he looks.
I just got a notification that Corbin Burns, the guy the Diamondbacks just paid $210 million to in the offseason, is getting Tommy John surgery.
Of course he is.
That is
right on par.
To say a bummer is a massive understatement. That is deflating.
I'm trying to think. Who's Chris Hemsworth? I'm going to think his too.
Thor.
Yeah. Hemsworth, like, weight. So Chris Hemsworth is actually a little bit bigger, right? He's 214 pounds. So he's a little bit bigger.
I also think he's a little bit taller. He's like 6'2".
Let's see. Height and weight here. He's 6'3".
Oh, okay.
So he's a little taller. So he's actually taller, which is, I would never have thought he was that tall, but he's never stood next to Tom Cruise. So like Tom Cruise looks jacked out of his mind.
He's also 5'6". It's easy to look jacked when you're small.
I'm like, you walk past, you wouldn't even, I mean, if I was to walk past Cruise, I'd have to look down to see him. Like, I'd look over the top.
I would have to look down.
Like, he's a tiny dude. So, like, those guys that you think, like, I want to look like, well, when you really boil it down, like, see, I'm like, I want to look like Brian Shaw. He's 6'8", 420 pounds of just man, like world's strongest man.
When I look at that, though, and I can clearly dismiss it as saying that's unattainable.
Oh, yeah.
That's not happening.
He's a genetic god. Yeah. Him and Thor, the mountain.
The actual guy.
Housen or whatever his last name is.
I don't remember his name, but he's literally the size of a house.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, man. And the fact that they didn't just let themselves get tall or big and what they've actually they use their strength for money. I'm like, dude, I would do that in a heartbeat if I could do that.
That exactly. But I can dismiss that easily.
Yeah,
just like I can dismiss
those are anomalies.
Just so I can dismiss any like huge football player or huge basketball player and say, listen, genetics only did so much. Like, go on a new way.
Yeah.
But when I think of guys like we'll say Chris Evans, that's a good example. He's almost my size. I'm a little bit shorter than he is, but roughly the same size. Like, getting to that, it's like, how do you do that? And how come? Again, I'm only saying this because for my whole life, I've always thought that women were the only ones that are affected by those types of images. And they're the ones that get the body dysmorphia. They're the ones that get I'm never going to be good enough. I'll never look like that. I never thought about that really until I started noticing these guys put the stuff up on social media and the algorithm pushing it my way and realizing, like, holy crap, I just realized I've been affected by this. Like, I'm not saying in a negative way. I almost look at it as like a motivating way.
Which it should be, right?
I would hope so. But it's also, I guess I'm only saying that because anybody else that's listening out there recognize some of these things that you hold yourself, that you want to attain, you have to recognize the reality. And the reality is not everybody looks like the people we see on TV. Those guys are freaks.
Well, but you figure cinematography is that
cinematography.
That stuff makes you look. I mean, there's just angles. Camera angles matter. Check out Instagram. Every freaking hot chick, thin chick is not that hot and thin. When the camera angle changes, all of a sudden you're like, oh. You know, like wait a minute. Angles, I can make things look really small. I can make my arms look bigger by this, moving that around. So you can't really go off of cinema. I look at guys in the gym, and I'm like, oh, I wish I was that big.
Which again is one of my absolute favorite reels or Instagram things that get sent my way are the jokes about like how guys expect women to react when they tell them what I can do, and then the reality is it's Rocky and Carl Weathers out on the beach, like giving each other big old bro hugs, like dude, you did it.
When you get all in shape and jacked out of your mind, you think that all these girls are like, oh my gosh, no, it's all the bros, dude. You're like, dude, you look good.
Yes. I absolutely love it. What were we gonna say? You just had a
I just realized that the Hulk is only 5'8". And his lower actor guy. The actor himself is only 5'8".
Oh, yeah. Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Small guy.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was so small. I have a whole list of the Avengers' height.
Oh, really?
It goes by height. So
let's see here.
So Robert Downey Jr. is only 5'9".
I would have guessed that. I would have guessed about that.
Falcon, so Anthony Mackie, 5'10".
Do you know Anthony Mackie was a Division I recruited athlete?
No.
He was a free safety. Division I. And I just watched an interview where he said the day he decided to put it up and go to becoming an actor, he was at practice. He'd just been recruited. He was at practice, and the coach told him to go fill the hole. The running back's going to be coming right through here. And he said, I went in. I was flying in to fill the hole. Did not see the pulling guard. Destroyed me. He's like, and that's where I took my helmet off and said, Acting's for me. Thanks, I'm not doing this anymore.
Ant-Man's 5'10".
Okay, Paul Rudd, yeah.
Nebula, right? The
Oh,
blue
yeah.
girl. She's 5'11".
Is she now?
Yeah. Winter Soldier's 5'11".
Yeah.
Stan Lee's 5'11". Now we get into 6 foot. Doctor Strange is 6 foot tall.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Tall, thin Englishman.
Chad Boseman, Black Panther, he was 6 foot tall.
Good.
He died.
Good.
Respect.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace. Captain America says he's 6 foot on here.
I want to say this for everybody. Make sure you get your colon cancer screenings because even the great dude, Chadwick Boseman, died at 43 years old because of colon cancer.
Yeah.
43 years old.
Crazy. So Brax the Destroyer, which is Dave Bautista, he's a wrestler. He's big. He's 6'6".
Yeah, I would have imagined he's the biggest one.
Yeah, he is the biggest one. And then you have Thor 6'3", Loki 6'2". There's Nick Fury 6'2", Chris Pratt 6'2".
What about Josh Brolin? Is he on there? Mm-mm. He was Thanos.
No, he's not on there.
And all he was a green screen. But I'm almost positive that guy would be in the 5'10" range, 5'10" to 6 foot range.
Probably.
Anyway, all right. Dude, have you seen all these clips about All American Rejects doing these pop-up shows all around the country?
No.
You haven't seen these?
No, bro. My Instagram reel algorithm is so much different from yours.
Or I guess it's funny though how often you and I will send stuff where I'm like, I just saw this. No, dude. So All American Rejects, they're doing this thing where they do what they call pop-up shows, and they can be literally anywhere. The first one was at a house party somewhere in Middle West America, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Just popped up, started playing a show right there in the front yard. Whole neighborhood starts piling in. The next one they did was at a bowling alley in Nebraska. Whole neighborhood starts showing up to this bowling alley because dude, All American Rejects, they put on a free show. And I just saw one yesterday in Iowa. They did it in a huge metal shed building. They called it the Barn Show. Dude, and they're really just saying they're having people reach out to them and say, hey, you want to play a show? And they're like, maybe we'll show up. And then the best part about it is I watched this interview from the lead singer, and they're like, how can you guys start putting out new music? He's like, nobody wants to hear new music.
It's true.
And especially from us. He's like, I'm a 40-year-old man. Do you think they want to hear me write a song about high school heartbreak?
Yeah.
No. They want to hear the songs I've already written.
Yeah.
And we're just going to play those songs.
And it's going to be all the moms and dads coming out.
Well, what's crazy, it's all the kids.
Yeah,
it's all these college kids that show up to these parties, and dude, it's the coolest thing.
That would be cool.
It was so odd. Imagine for me being a high schooler, and this band's rocking in my town saying, hey, we're popping up at this house party tonight.
Gilbert Regional Park where they had that amphitheater that really...
It's not even that cool though. It would be smaller. It would be smaller. It would be like someone saying, hey, I've got a barn in the backyard. Some out here in Queen Creek, come and play. All right, we'll show up at the barn. Dude, I'm gonna send you these. It is awesome.
It'd be cool. I have a neighborhood park that's got a big grass area. It's kind of a waste of space of a park. That would be cool if they just started showing up there and playing. But there's a lady neighbor that would call the cops.
Oh,
she's a total, she's a see you next Tuesday. I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, I gotta find these. Malia first started sending them to me. Shout out to you, Malia.
But I think we could skip Thunder Embarrasses Aunt. Only reason because I want to give you your metaphorical flowers on the Pacers. Dude, and tell me you watched it.
I watched it.
God,
dude, I finished it about 10 minutes before you got here.
Oh, dude. I was in there. What's funny is I forgot. I went and got a haircut, right? My boy AJ cut my hair. I thought I'd see you in there, right? And so
next week.
Yeah. So I said, hey, tonight's game 1, right? So yeah, I'm like, okay. So I go home and I went and hit some golf ball. Well, I went to go to the range and they had it closed on Thursdays and Sundays for early. And I'm like, dude, I didn't know, and it's 5:30. And he's like, well, he goes,
why would they close?
To go pick up all the balls. They do it. They just close earlier. And I'm like, okay, I can't be mad. It makes sense. That's my fault. Yeah. And I said, well, how much is a 9, to golf 9 right now? If I just want to go 9. And he's like, I'll give it to you for the same price as a set of balls. I was like, done. $16 where I golfed the front 9 at Trilogy, right? And so I went golfing there, and I got home, and I'm like sitting on the couch, and I was like, oh, the game's on. So I turned it on, and it was the last minute. I didn't care about the whole it was the last minute, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. There they are. And then I read how back this is their first time they led, and the Thunder led for 47.33 minutes, and or something stupid.
Dude, what's crazy is when they lost that challenge, I thought the game's over.
Oh yeah, the out of bounds challenge.
Yeah, I'm like, game's over. They're not coming back from this. That's it, man. Good job, guys. But
they didn't call a timeout. They just thought, let's see what happens.
Dude, and SGA missed the shot. He was on fire, dude. That game, was a freaking rock match. Nobody could hit a shot for the majority of the game, which is crazy. If you looked at the final score, you'd think that it was a pretty efficiently scored game. Dude, I think both teams were right at 40%. Like, nobody was over. The beginning, the first quarter, the first half of the game, the Pacers had 18 turnovers, and somehow still won the game. Halliburton still hit the game winner.
That he does that, and he got passed over for MVP, and I can't, like, I'm like...
Yeah, you tell me the Eastern Conference.
I'm like, I still don't know how Siakam or whatever got it.
Siakam.
I didn't watch the Eastern Conference enough to say one way or the other. I know the voting was close. I think he won 5-4. Like, it wasn't a huge win.
The only thing I can say is that Pascal Siakam had one big game in the conference finals. One 39-point game.
But that guy...
and Halliburton had one bad game.
But he's the reason they won all the close games.
100% is the reason they won. And if borrow it from the reasons why Steve Nash won 2 straight MVPs, he is the engine that runs the team. Take him out, all falls apart.
They didn't give Siakam the ball at the end there.
No.
Right? They gave it to
exactly.
Zero.
Dude, Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
You know this. So every year they do a player survey. And they say, like, who's the best player, who's the fastest player, whatever. And one of the ones that is, who's the most overrated player? You want to know who won the most overrated player in the player survey? Tyrese Halliburton.
Not no mo.
And guess who is shoving in every single person's face right now that voted for him?
He is.
Dude, he is so clutch. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that game was insane. That last, like...
They could lose the next straight 4.
And it won't matter.
It won't matter.
Talk about that game.
Yeah, they will.
Because the people who are down by 9 or down by whatever going into the last few minutes of the
it doesn't matter.
Finals, if they're the game last night, one win to like 274 losses.
Yes. It's like, hey, listen, guess what? You know what? We can always pull up Pacers here. So I was listening to somebody talk about this finals, and they're basically saying, like, oh, it's not going to be close. You know, even if the Pacers win 1, it's going to be like I think it was 2001, the 76ers Lakers, where, you know, Allen Iverson and the 76ers won game 1 and then got steamrolled for the next 4. And they just, blew out. Basically, might as well have been a sweep for all that matters. And dude, after last night's game, I'm like, it doesn't matter, dude. Like, that was so cool to see the Pacers, never give up. And I think in every single round of the playoffs so far, they have had one of those miraculous comebacks.
See, multiple. Like in the rounds, like they've been down by more like 7 points with less than a minute left,
and won games,
and they win the game.
Yes,
you're like, how,
dude? It's incredible. I thank you for the flowers, by the way,
because I said last year, and it's funny. I wanted to go back and like try to find the episode and play that part. And what I wanted to do was what I wanted to do was find it, clip it, send it to you, and say, hey, don't play this, just have it ready, and that we could give you them, because you said last year this team was going to be something. It was just a matter of last year they were just too young, and they just. And now look at them this year. When was the last time the Pacers were in the finals?
I think it was with Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose, like 2000, Rick Smits. I mean, it was, I want to say it was 2000. It might have been against the Lakers. Dude, oh my gosh, man. But either way, they have
2000.
been. 2000?
Yep.
Hey, again, I couldn't remember the word citation, but I can tell you when the last time the freaking Pacers were in the finals.
So dumb.
My gosh.
So dumb, dude.
It's so dumb. But I hate the way my brain works sometimes. I can't monetize it for anything that matters. Dude, it's so stupid.
Scores useless crap.
Oh, in the worst ways, too. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, Reggie Miller days, dude.
Oh, dude, I am...
It was Jalen Rose and Mark Jackson.
Was Rick Smits? Was Rick Smits on the team?
It doesn't say his name in this, but let's find out.
The center for the team was Rick Smits.
I would hate that if you really know that, dude. Like, it would just be funny to me. I don't know if I can find the roster for the 2000.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. No. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I don't know what just happened. There it goes.
Okay. Well, while you're looking that up, the reason why I didn't watch that in real time is I was catching up on the Diamondbacks game. The Diamondbacks game yesterday was the final game of a 3-game series in Atlanta. We'd already won the first 2. So if we lose the third one, it's like, God dang it, we could have had a sweep. But, at least we went in there, took care of business, and won the series. We're going into the 9th inning, Jason, down. Was Rick Smits?
No.
Oh, okay. We are down 10-4 going into the 9th inning. And we won that game.
Yeah, I think that there was a clip or something that said something about the Diamondbacks. You don't want us coming into the 9th. Like something about the 9th.
I don't know. It was the first time in their history they'd ever come back and won a game when down by 6 runs or more in the 9th inning. And dude, it was awesome because up until that point, I was ready to wash my hands of the Diamondbacks, and I still kind of am after having gotten that news about Corbin Burns being out. Just a brutal loss. Brutal loss. Again, $210 million contract for this guy, and he has been so good.
I'm surprised more people don't do the old Bradley Beal thing and Joel Embiid thing and just get their contracts and play.
Stop
injured.
playing.
Stop playing for
Like,
3 quarters of the season.
I'm hurt.
My back, man. I'm gonna be at the strip club.
Oh, my back hurts real bad from last
I'm gonna
night,
get a
man.
massage tonight. Christie's Cabaret. They do personal massages. It's not a
Full
big deal.
body.
Yeah,
Full body, man.
massages.
VIP experience,
it's not,
everything.
How much an hour? No, it's by the song.
Dude, but it's in fact one of the things that's amazing when a player does get paid and they do continue to get better. That is a testament to that person.
No, yeah.
Because I don't think, well,
They put the work in on the off time.
we'd have to put in some like serious thought and work, which we won't do, into finding out how many players we would say got better after getting paid and how many got worse after getting paid.
The list of getting worse is way bigger.
You think so?
I think
it'd
they
be
stopped trying.
I think it'd be surprisingly 50-50.
I don't know.
Because depending on the sport, right? Depends on the sport. Because in football, generally you're only getting a 4-year extension. Not many players get beyond 4 years, right? Like I know Patrick Mahomes is on a 10-year contract. Nobody does that. Some might get a 6 or 7, but 4 is typically what you're doing. Basketball, the maximum contract length is 5. And that's if you've played for the team already for the previous 3 or 4, I think. Then you can get a 5-year extension. Up to that point, it's only 4. If you're going to free agency, maximum's 4. Baseball, it's like, dude, you want to sign that guy to a 20-year contract? Whatever. Like, it's all guaranteed money anyway.
So. Like, hey, we'll give you $700 million if you play for us for 10 years.
Yeah, it's exactly what. $700 million, 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy is the Mets gave, I just had a moment again. I can see his face. Juan Soto. 13 years, $760 million. So, what if it's, yeah. Is that what it was?
How much is guaranteed? How much is guaranteed?
No, it was 680. That's what it was. It wasn't more than Shohei, I don't think, but it was a lot. But it was more years. It was like 13 years, something like that. It's fully guaranteed. That's the way baseball contracts work.
But wait, so fully guaranteed though. So if I get hurt in year 6, what happens?
Insurance.
So what's that mean?
Insurance covers the difference.
So they literally still get their money?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh, I should have been a baseball player.
Yeah, dude, the teams take out these insurance policies on players. Like again, with what the problem was, actually, that was one of the big stories about Jordan Montgomery this year when he, I want to say he tore his ACL. I can't remember. I can't believe I can't remember this. But he's another high-priced pitcher that IMAX had that just sucked last year and was coming into the final year of his contract. He was like, I need to be better because if I want to make money, because he's still 30, 31.
How do these other teams afford people like this when they don't have the people coming to the games?
I mean, Diamondbacks it's people think that the Diamondbacks don't get people coming to the games because their stadium's so huge. They still get people to the games.
Oh, is their stadium really that big?
It's huge.
Oh,
it's
comparably?
Yes, it's like 50,000 seats, 48,000 seats, something like that.
What's normal?
25, 30.
Really?
Yeah. And so
what's Fenway?
Fenway's like, look it up. I would say it's probably 22.
Chris Mullen was a center.
Chris Mullen? No, Chris Mullen?
Not a center.
He's
he
a forward.
on there. Yeah, he's a forward. Dikembe Mutombo was signed mid-season.
Oh, but not Rick Smits, huh?
No, Jermaine.
Maybe he was done before
Al
that.
Harrington, Mark Jackson, Ken
All of these
Anderson.
guys. I remember all these guys.
Jonathan Bender.
I remember Jonathan Bender. Big disappointing player. Big player.
Fenway.
Seating capacity.
37,000.
37,000 in Fenway? That's way more than what I would have thought of. Either way, not 48. But so the point is that the Diamondbacks actually, they get like 24,000 people to a game. And you think about varying seat prices and you think 81 home games and you think Monster Arena in the offseason and stuff like that.
Yankee 46,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Well,
redid theirs though, didn't
yeah,
they?
I say they just rebuilt Yankee Stadium. It's a new
What's an
stadium.
old stadium?
Wrigley Field in Chicago.
They'll never change that.
They have actually. They just did some changes to it.
41,000.
No way. Wrigley?
That?
That seems nuts.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah, no, I guess I was wrong about some things about seating capacity. Either way, all right, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. The Diamondbacks bullpen is the worst bullpen I've ever seen. I'm just going to say that. We have a chance of being better, but the main reason why the Diamondbacks are losing so many games is their pitching, and so much of it is because of the bullpen. This was a question that my nephew asked me when I saw him in California and went to visit him. And he wanted to know how you and I have so much to talk about, and if it's possible, do we talk to each other in between recording sessions, or is we save every word for just when the microphones hit record?
we send a lot of reels, bro.
Send a lot of reels.
We talk a lot of reels.
Yeah.
But we both have lives, so like, and I don't live next door. I live 20 minutes away, so like we don't really go to the same stores or anything. So I mean, we talk, but
I'll say this is what I tell myself. You know, the thing is like we send each other, you know, reels. We text back and forth, but we don't like the only thing that I would say not record is the conversations we don't want to record.
yeah, like we can't have this one.
Yeah, no, we don't want to put this one out there.
That's a strong stance to take. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. So if you hear the strong stances and you think that, wow, this guy's really out there, just imagine what wasn't recorded.
Yeah, we try to keep this PG 13 at most.
At most. Yeah. We do our best in that. But at the same time, I was telling them, like, dude, really what it is like for some reason, for two guys that have not known each other our entire lives, we can talk about anything.
Yeah, we don't have a problem conversing at all. That's kind of why we started this thing.
Yeah.
So people told us the same thing. We're just sitting around. We just talk. Like, I don't know. I'm a talker. You're a talker.
Yeah, we are both talkers. And this is me giving you your flowers. You're a person that does not get offended.
No.
I am.
Yeah, I could care less. I'm all about just, I live my life, you live yours. I don't look at your shirt you're wearing. I could make fun of you for days in that shirt too.
And I wouldn't care. That shirt's freaking dope, man.
At the same time, dude, so I had a bedspread. That was that tie-dye. When I was in high school, bro.
That's awesome.
And I moved down here my first year after I got out of high school. My bedspread was like that. And my girlfriend, now wife at the time, was like, no. Like, come on. It's like
too cool,
bro. I sleep so good.
I'll say this, dude. My arms up because right now I can feel the sweat building up in the armpits. We got the air down in the studio, and I am still sweating.
Man, you turned the fans off.
I turned the fans off because they mess with the lighting. Oh, speaking of which, lighting, we didn't put any lights on. And they kind of mess with the lighting. They kind of mess with the sound sometimes. Sometimes these mics will pick it up, and so that's why I turned it off.
That's fine.
But the shirt's dope. I don't want to hear anything about it. For any of you who want
he
to
had
know.
eyes. I can't figure out why his eyes don't even exist, nor his nose. It is just a facial outline with a mustache. And
That's all you need.
You're supposed to know that that's Randy Johnson.
Oh, you know.
There's no diamond. Well, there might be a diamond patch on the side or
That's
something.
just the colors and the stripes.
Yeah, and his half of his number.
The mullet and stash tells you know who this is. Speaking of which, do you see Randy Johnson's getting his number 51 retired with the Mariners now?
No, I did not.
Cool story. So both he and Ichiro Suzuki wore number 51. Mm-hmm. And when Ichiro came to play for the Mariners, I think 2000 or 2001, I can't remember exactly what his rookie year was, he actually asked Randy Johnson if he could wear the number. Even though it wasn't retired, he just said, hey, is it okay if I wear that number? Of course, Randy said, that's fine, because he didn't play for the team anymore. Played for the Diamondbacks at the time. And so what the Mariners decided to do is like, you know what, we're going to retire both of these numbers because both...
Useless amount of information. 2001. 2001.
There you go. And I know he was Rookie of the Year. I couldn't remember which year. Anyway, we'll let you fact check me while I'm telling the story.
Well, the way you said, I'm like, I'm curious if he's right. And of course, you're absolutely correct when it comes to something like. I'm like, I know who he is. I would never been able to tell you when he was drafted.
Well, there you go.
Came out.
Anyway, so they're retiring Ichiro's number 51 this year, and Randy Johnson said he didn't want to be done in the same year because he wanted Ichiro to have his day. Because I would say, and I'm not a Seattle Mariners fan, but I would ask a Seattle Mariners fan who deserves that number retired more. And I'm pretty sure they would say Ichiro Suzuki.
I would 100% agree.
Yeah. And I remember there was debate as to whether or not Randy Johnson should go into the Hall of Fame as a Mariner or as a Diamondback. I'm like, if you're having a serious debate about this, he achieved nothing. He had, as a Mariner, other than being a terrifying guy who struck people out. As a Diamondback, he won a World Series. Yeah. He won 4 straight Cy Youngs. He threw a perfect game. He hit a bird. He hit a bird as memorialized on my chest right now. And he struck out 20 guys in a game. Like, no, I'm sorry. He's a Diamondback Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
like, that's insane to achieve those things. And all of that after like the age of 38, man. He went on a tear as he got older. And it's
that freaking sidearm lefty, bro.
Dude, it's one of those things where you really wonder, like, again, had he been able to hone his control at 25, he would have never left the Montreal Expos. They would never gotten rid of the guy. And he would have gone down as the strikeout king. Because, again, at 40, I think he threw a perfect game at 42 years old.
I think you're right. There was just an anniversary for it.
Yeah. Anyway, so, and this is the last thing I want to say. Stop remaking animated movies in a quote-unquote live-action format because they suck.
Well, which one are you specifically
Any of them.
Yeah, but I feel like this set you off. Which one sets you off?
2. Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
And the How to Train Your Dragon. Okay. I haven't seen either one of them, but I can tell you right now, they're going to suck. How to Train Your Dragon. You reanimated the movie. It's every dragon looking the exact same as the cartoon and just put in humans behind a green screen. Why?
That's what they do with Ninja Turtles. And
No, it didn't.
Ninja Turtles is a live action movie. The new ones.
Oh, talking about the new ones. But the old ones were way better.
Oh, the old ones were great, but I still like the new ones.
Did you?
Yeah, because I'm a Ninja Turtle fan. Well, they could have sat around and ate pizza the whole time this winter, and I'd have been into the movie.
That actually sounds like a better movie. No, but hey, all the Disney ones, the Beauty and the Beast one was fine. Did not need it one bit. How many people do you know watch Aladdin?
I just watched it again, because it was on TV. You know what the problem is? It's the genie.
Yes.
And the reason why is because Robin Williams set the bar so high that Will Smith didn't do a terrible job for Will Smith. The problem is you're comparing everything he sings, says, and does. You're like,
That's not
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to hear it. Like, he wasn't. There was just something about Robin Williams, and he was perfect. He would have been a great real life genie. You know, he embraced that persona, and Will Smith tried to do it a little bit too hard, and he took it a little bit too cultural his way, and it was like, dude.
The thing that gets me is it's like being the guy after the guy. Right. You'll always be worse than the guy before you.
And I don't know why they always try to change up some part of it. It's like, look, if you're going to remake a movie, just remake the cartoon live then, and make it the exact same, because we all love the cartoon. But when you add something else, some kind of spin to it, or some kind of little detail change, you're like, that's not how it's supposed to be.
You just ruined it.
Yeah.
For example, and again, have not seen Lilo and Stitch, the new one. I saw the old one, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Fun movie. And the whole thing was about Ohana, family, right? Sticks together no matter what. Apparently the controversy with this remake one is, at the end of the movie, instead of the sister staying with Lilo and being a family, she ditches her off to the neighbors and basically says, peace off, foster care, I'm going to college. And it's like, wait, what?
See,
what? You just completely destroyed the whole movie.
But again, and you could argue again, Little Mermaid. Not only did you change the movie, Disney went full on. I don't even know what you'd call it. I want to DEI. I don't know what you call it.
But that's now that's the joke. Anything with Disney, they're saying, oh, if Disney gets their hands on it, guess what's going to happen? And I saw this one where this is what happens if Disney remakes a World War II movie and Hitler was a black woman. And it was just like, here's a fat black woman. And the woman, again, making the joke is like, see, this is the way that Hitler is always supposed to be portrayed. It's like, wait, what? Why? Why do we have to remake everything?
Well, and then, okay, but I don't understand the problem with making Ariel a redhead white girl, because that's what she was.
I also don't, but also, to be fair, I don't care that she wasn't. I don't understand why you remade the movie.
Agreed, but what happened? But I just don't like why. It's like they forced that through there, right? They didn't, because really, if you're going to remake a movie, it should just take the movie as it is, right? It was a white girl with red hair, kind of the whole storyline with her being a redheaded mermaid, like the whole thing.
Also, if you knew much of the history, it was supposed to be in the Netherlands, in Dutch.
Which proves my point even more.
You know who started the slave trade? The Dutch.
Weird.
So guess what Disney just did inadvertently?
Slap that around. Ooh. Bet the audience didn't hear that coming.
I bet they had no idea that what Disney was really saying was The Little Mermaid was
a slave trader.
Oh,
man.
Started this whole thing.
Disney.
We just flipped that one on you.
This is going to be the episode that airs, and this one's going to get us money.
This one's going to get us money. We're going to die from this.
Because Disney's going to come after us now because we've exposed them.
Dude, but for real, honestly, I'm saying this because DreamWorks did the exact same thing. The difference in the animation of the dragons from the original cartoon to this new one, no, it's like, it'd be like playing GoldenEye on an N64 and then playing it today.
That could happen
It's
again.
the same, just a little bit different. You'd made no differences other than you slightly upgraded the graphics. It's like, it's the same stupid thing. Why are you doing this? And the movie's already that old.
I would kill for GoldenEye right now.
Oh, dude,
I think I would bring out my game and start playing again.
So, fun fact here. GoldenEye was re-released on Xbox with quote-unquote upgraded graphics. And you know what? It was worse. Nobody played it. It was worse because it was not the same as the original GoldenEye.
If they re-released GoldenEye with the same
graphics,
you just had a new controller, right? Your controller was something different.
Whatever happened to that whole 4K and 64 thing? Remember what happened to that? Because I feel like that was that was just like catfishing us all.
Oh, for sure.
Making us feel like something great's going to come back from our childhood and then just disappeared.
Oh, what I would do? We would have a pizza party and
in the sunken living room with the old Fox TV.
Yeah. Oh, buddy, we go find one at a Goodwill.
2 liters of Mountain Dew, some Domino's pizza.
Oh,
by the way, as a cheat meal, this was the most disappointing thing. When you have a cheat meal and it just does not hit.
Yep, I had those.
Dude, I had the stuffed crust Domino's. No, never again.
So we used to alternate. I'd do pizza. I still do, right? Same pizza place. Actually, we tried some new places, dude. We tried this Amici. Have you heard of this?
No, I don't know.
So it's in Dobson and Guad-ish.
Okay.
But they're putting one in Signal Butte here in Queen Creek. Dude, it is good. Like
Okay.
it's a different pizza vibe. Like it's a New York style, but like
I do love a New York style pizza.
It sucks that it's far, but I would go back. Their garlic knots, the problem is, garlic knots are always good when they make them.
Yeah.
The problem is the cheese, because the cheese never seems to really stick to the garlic knots. So when you pull one away, there's like just a clump of cheese still left in there, and there's no, it's just whatever. But
it's the whole, whenever you said that, I immediately started thinking of Saving Silverman. It's one nacho. No, see, if it's all stuck to one chip, it's just one nacho.
their French fries, they were crinkle cut and almost like battered, but not. Oh, bro, they were so good. I would go back just for the fries. Like it was delicious.
Dude, you say that, and I immediately started thinking, why does Arby's get so much hate? It's freaking delicious.
You know what, dude? They put a brand new one by. This thing's at 10% battery.
We gotta wrap it up. Okay. We're over now.
Arby's, I know Arby's. They put one by the gym, and I want to go because I would only go to a new Arby's because I feel like old Arby's are just you're asking to get sick. You know, there's some green stuff on the slicer for sure.
There's some truth in that, dude. Because I hit the same Arby's anytime I'm going up north. I hit the one in Payson right there in the corner. And the first time I did it, dude, I got to the campsite and I was like, guys, I am not feeling good. And this was a couple of weeks ago, right after I started doing this with you. And that was when you told me, like, yeah, watch out, man. You eat any crap, you're going to feel it. And, bro, I was feeling it that night.
It sucks, dude.
Anyway, all right, well, hey.
Last thing.
Okay.
I am completely sober of energy drinks.
Oh, that's right. You said that on the episode that we got completely.
I weaned off of them like crazy. And today is day 3 with nothing.
How you feel?
Pre-workout only because I have to have a workout. I feel fine. Like it's weird.
No
like
headaches.
I did have headaches the first little bit, but dude, my whole family's like, how did you just stop? Because I was 4 or 5 a day, 3 to 5 a day, no problem.
Yeah.
Not even a question. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just stopped. And dude, now napping is so much easier. Like, sleeping's still a little weird because my schedule's all jacked, but dude, napping, I can lay down and actually take a nap, bro. It's like, man. It's insane. Nice, yeah, it's a pretty big deal because I don't even buy. We used to buy cases of them all the time, and now I'm like, just give me a Diet Dr. Pepper. I'll drink half of it for the taste change, but I don't even want it.
See, that's my problem. Is I've got cases of them all over my house. I still only drink one a day.
Yeah,
but it's all because the best tasting 0 calorie or low calorie diet sodas, they're all energy drinks, all of them. Like a Coke Zero or Coke Zero is actually not too bad, dude. If you had the Pepsi Zero.
Yeah, but see, are you a Pepsi guy over a Coke?
No, I am a Coke guy over Pepsi.
But you don't like Coke Zero? I love Coke Zero.
Dude, I was shocked because I remember where I was. All they had was Pepsi products. I'm like, okay, well, what do you got as far like? Do you have Diet Pepsi and Pepsi Zero? I'm like, I'll try a Pepsi Zero. Dude, it was good. It was real good.
I don't mind it. We eat it because the Venetia's Pizza place.
Yeah, Venetia's, yeah.
But have you had Dr. Pepper Zero?
I don't like Dr. Pepper.
Okay, so then don't. But if you did, dude, I'm like, why would you ever drink Dr. Pepper again? No. Like, why have all that sugar and all this stuff? Why not have fake stuff?
This is my thing. For the longest time, I had a hard time with any of the artificial sweeteners because I'm like, we don't know what they're going to do to us. But then I had the conclusion, like, but we do know what sugar does to us. And we know that's pretty bad.
Yeah, we know it's really bad.
So, is it going to be that much worse? I mean,
I'm going to roll that dice all day.
It's gotten easier for me to roll that dice. I'll just say that much. All I know is
bodybuilding world, people drink Zero everything, all those Cokes, and they look like they do. They don't drink regular sugar stuff because those people, when they do, you
notice the difference.
Yeah. You see the ones walking around with a 52-ounce thirst buster.
I will say this, though. Every once in a while, when you get your hands on a real Coca-Cola,
I get it. A bottled one in Mexico.
I was going to say, that's specifically what I'm talking about.
Cold.
That's when you go, this is it.
But they arguably probably, in Mexico, it's probably better. Because the ingredients is less. Yeah. Not all the crap in it, right? So I'll take that versus here in America where the FDA just wants you to get fat so they pump it full of whatever they want.
Dude, that's actually one of the things that really frustrates. Like, that's where when you say something about, like, the government just wants you to suck, that's where I'm like, I don't have much of an argument against that point of it. Because if the FDA really was doing what it was designed to do, we wouldn't have the majority of food products that we have on the shelves today. And if that really is what comes of the Maha movement, good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I have belief that it's going to happen because there's already so many things that are just like, it's just all money. Yeah. And all that, but it's all posturing. They all just say whatever it is they want you to hear, and then they do nothing about it. And all they do is claim it's because the other part of the party wouldn't allow them to get done what they want to do. whatever. Anyway, dude. Okay, congratulations, man. Congratulations.
It's been tough.
Doesn't sound like it. Sounds like you
It's actually been fine. I just, my mom was like that. She used to chew and she'd stop. She'd pick up smoking for a while, she'd stop. Like there was nothing that she could just not do and then be like, I need every time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I made a decision when I was in DC. I was like, I'm just going to not have one. I took a whole week of rest from the gym. I only worked out twice. And I'm like, I'm just going to not drink them anymore. And then until I need them. And then I did need them working a late shift every now, like one.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I started drinking half of one and I wouldn't even finish the one, but it's an 8-hour shift. And I'm like, I don't think I need it. And then the last few nights, days, I'm like, I'm gonna go without it. And I haven't even wanted one.
Dude, that's good, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, good for you. Because I remember when we first started doing it, I remember being like, is your heart going to last?
Bro, I was pushing 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of caffeine a day.
See, dude,
no problem.
And if I get one, like those raws, whatever, what are they called?
The Jolly Rancher one?
No. What's the actual brand called?
The Lit?
Lit. That's Lit Raw, whatever it is.
Oh.
250 milligrams. I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to drink 250 milligrams. Like, this is insane.
I was like, let me take a nap.
I know. But for me, that was real. And what was it, Rain that has 300 or something like that?
Dude, the tropical storm Rain, though, bro, that crisp cold out of a QT, bro. Like, that is, I imagine that's how people, when they smoke a meth pipe, feel. I am like, it's like, that first sip, dude, is so good, dude. Oh, man.
Oh, they're chasing that dragon for the rest of your life, dude. Forever. All right, man. Well, with that, let's just go ahead and talk about the meth heads by not breathing, but
breeding.
Yeah.
The JJ and Pug Show theme song was written, composed, and performed by Lane Hartman. Special thanks to Highland Communities for all the support given to our show. You can find the JJ and Pug Show podcast wherever you do listen to podcasts. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Remember to share the show with your friends and family and subscribe wherever you do listen. If you're able to, please feel free to support us by sending a donation to us by going to ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. That is ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for all the support, whether that is by simply listening, whether that is sharing it with a friend, or giving us that sweet, sweet cash. We truly appreciate it all. Thank you so much.